This is an advertisement for BetterHelp. We love talking about everything on here, hearing all your stories and offering up our advice, but we aren't professionals, are we, Kayleigh?
No, we are not, and that's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp is the leading online therapy platform.
You will be able to work with a therapist that is specifically assigned to you based on your individual needs, preferences, and location.
You can communicate with your therapist via phone, video, and live chat. Plus, you can message your therapist whenever you like.
We've both been in therapy in the past and always recommend therapy to our listeners. Whether you're going through a lot or just after some human maintenance, BetterHelp can be there for you.
BetterHelp makes therapy a lot more accessible, and even more so with a month's worth of free therapy. Up to 4 sessions when you sign up to be a Mama Social member. After your free sessions, you'll also receive 15% off future usage.
Head to mamasocialcode.com/become a member to sign up or head to the link in the show notes. Hi everyone and welcome to Mama Social, the podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Kayleigh, and we're here to talk motherhood, womanhood, and all things adulthood.
So grab yourself a bev and enjoy. She'll probably never ever want to meet up with me ever again. ever again. Right?
What did you do?
Honestly, Kayleigh. So,
is there any other child in this team? Why are we all shouting at my child? You know how I love journaling? To me, it's like just a really lovely outlet to get rid of my thoughts. Rage on the page, I like to call it.
Okay. Do you never feel guilty when you go to work all the time?
You work hard and go to work to make money to do nice things with the kids.
Fish fingers and chips out of the freezer, right? That's not a bad meal, is it?
Well, it would be better if you did them yourself.
But why? I'm just picking up my cuppa. It's very full.
It's a very full cup. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
So that was Lauren just slurping on her tea.
Slurpy slurp.
Can you hear her? She's very far away from a microphone.
I know. So, well, I needed room for the cuppa. I needed room for the cuppa.
How's your week been? Was it good?
I've had a lovely week.
Yeah.
Do you want to know all about it?
Babes, hit me.
So to know all about it, I'm just going to have to go straight in to Pits and Peaks.
Oh, no intro.
I just think we need to go.
Let's go.
Pits and Peaks. What happened to me last week is nothing short of traumatizing.
Oh, God.
Like,
I genuinely don't know.
no, you're not ready.
Cards down, I'm here.
You are not ready. So,
Oh, drinking more tea.
slurp. I went to the opening of Sephora. Did you see this?
You know me, I'm not a massive skin makeup girl.
Yeah.
I seen it on the news and I thought, what the actual tomfuckery is going on? Why are people queuing up all night?
You know, I did think the same, but it was great.
Right, okay, I'll
But I
come
got
with non-judgment. Tell
I got
me.
invited to the opening before it opened.
The opening of the opening.
So I got invited to an event the day before.
Oh.
And there's not many events up this way ever. And I thought, you know what, I actually really want to go to this because that is my type of shop.
That is
And
your
I'm
jam.
excited to
Absolutely.
have a look round, like makeup, skincare, body care, hair stuff, like that's a bit of me.
And I'm excited for Lauren to tell me what to buy, and then I just buy things.
Yep. So got invited. Well, you weren't allowed a +1, so I was a bit like, oh God, I'm gonna have to go and spend 6 hours making friends. It was a long event, right?
Why?
So
Why
it was
6 hours
because there was 2 stores opening on the same day. So there was the Metro Centre and Eldon Square.
Bloody hell!
So there was a meeting point. Then we got on a Sephora coach to the Metro Centre, looked around that shop. Oh God, like the coach was full. It was like the school trip
50,
coach.
60.
So yeah, there must have been like at least
2 school
yeah
classes.
Uh-huh.
Were you sat next to somebody like buddy
Yes,
buddy?
so I had a friend,
Okay.
right? So this was my Instagram friend, Sophie. We'd never met before in real life, but I'd seen that she was going. So we were in touch with each other and we were like, right, let's stick together because we didn't know anyone else that was going. So met up with her beforehand and she'll probably never, ever want to meet up with me ever again. ever again. Right?
What did you do?
Honestly, Kayleigh. So we went and looked around the Metro Centre store.
Where was the main
Gorgeous,
point?
beautiful shop, the Vermont Hotel.
Why didn't they just get you to meet at the Metro Centre and then coach you from there?
Because then we were going back to above, which is above the Vermont Hotel.
So it was
for a party.
after party drinks.
So we were going to Metro Centre store, Eldon Square store, back for a party. Okay, so it was like 1:45 in the afternoon until 9 p.m.
Wow.
That's a long time.
Did you get food?
Sausage rolls.
Greg's?
Yeah, did a Sephora Greg's collab. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And then obviously there was like canapes around the stores and stuff. It was lovely. It was a really lovely event.
Canapes of like chicken bakes, steak bakes.
I wish it had been that, but they were actually fancy canapes. If it had been little bits of corned beef pasty, I'd have ate it all.
Leave that tray here, young man.
Just leave it there. So I drove through to Newcastle, so obviously I hadn't had a drink or anything. And
Come on!
I don't know at what point where I can spit it out.
Right, so we've got on the coach, we've got the Metro.
Yeah. So we've looked around the Metro Centre shop. There was a lovely talk.
Shop?
Yeah.
Just massive.
It's a canny size.
Whereabouts is it?
Opposite JD. In the Metro Centre.
Which mall is that?
Oh, I don't know what mall it is.
Platinum
where the Disney store used to be many, many years ago. It was opposite there.
Okay.
There you go.
Does that not exist anymore?
No.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is. So then we got back on the coach. I ate my sausage roll. Went to the Eldon Square shop.
If people aren't watching this podcast, please, just because of Lauren's face, it's just exciting me.
So I left my blazer on the coach because on the coach when I was eating the sausage roll, I was getting a bit hot, right? Now, you know what I'm like when I get a bit hot.
We just don't do heat.
It just doesn't, me and heat don't go well together.
I think
and I'd got a bit hot. So then I went to the Eldon Square store and was having a look around and it was gorgeous, lovely, looking around, prodding everything, you know, when you're like in a shop and you just touch everything. Like you just walk past a jacket in Zara and you've just got to touch it.
Yeah,
so I was just doing that for an hour in Eldon Square.
Yeah, but there's nothing tangible. It's
well,
makeup,
sorry, what I
isn't
was
it?
doing is dipping my fingers and everything and putting it on the back of my hand.
So
I was very
I've
hot.
worked out what you've done.
I was very hot. Okay. And then the music was so loud. So then I was like, I'm hot and this music is really loud. Like,
She's an old man.
so I was like, I was starting to have to breathe. Okay. And then I was like, it's fine. Like, we're going to be out of here in a minute. Go to the party, And then I was with Sophie, my friend that will never want to see me again. And I retched. Okay.
As soon as you said hot, I was like, where did it happen? I knew it was coming.
I retched.
In the store.
In the store. And as I retched, it came up here. Okay.
Up here,
it came
throat.
almost into my mouth. Right.
Uvula.
So I swallowed it back down and I looked at
The
Sophie.
whole sausage roll.
I looked at Sophie and I said, I'm going to be sick. And she went, what? I went, I'm going to be sick. And she went, what? Do you need to go to the toilet? I went, I need to go to the toilet. I walked out of Sephora and projectile vomited all over the floor.
In Eldon Square.
In Eldon Square.
Like some sort of drunkard.
Like as if I was a pissed arsehole.
Then you
I
got back
had
in your
not
car.
touched a sip of alcohol, right? Two projectile vomits came out of it while I covered my mouth. So it was on my hands, dripping down my arms, off my elbows, dripping off my face. then I just...
Act like an influencer, influencer event where everybody is so pristine and put together as content go around. Somebody's got a video of you
probably the
vomiting.
only person, the oldest person there has just projectile vomited all over herself. And I just looked at Sophie and I went, what do I do? what do I do? I went, what the fuck just happened? What do I do? She went, are you going to be sick again? I went, I don't know. I didn't even realise I was going to be sick then. She went, you go to the toilet. I'll get someone to clean this up. I'll let someone know and I'll come and get you. I went, okay. So me really quickly walking through Eldon Square with my mouth covered, because I'm not kidding you when I say this chunder was all over my face. So I'm walking through Eldon Square like this.
You backwashed yourself by trying to catch it, didn't you?
So I'm walking through Eldon Square with my hands covering my face.
On your eyebrow.
But it is dripping down my arms. Okay, up 3 flights of stairs to get to this toilet. Then just had to go in the toilet. I had to stick my fingers down my throat to make sure that everything was up, because the way that just came, like, what on earth? And then obviously this Sophie came to get us and she was like, are you okay? Like, and I'm like washing my hands, washing my arms, washing my face, makeup had came off the end of my nose. And she was like, right, someone's cleaning it up. I've let one of the girls from Sephora know. She's like, it's fine. Nobody's seen anything. No one's seen you.
Really?
I mean, I'm not quite sure of that. I don't think anyone inside Sephora.
They were just loving dipping their fingers in shit.
I will have nightmares for the rest of my life that I never made it outside of Sephora. That will be a recurrent nightmare.
Imagine if you...
Imagine if I'd spewed inside the shop.
We need that CCTV.
Get in touch with Eldon Square, ask for it.
I will.
Get in touch.
The chunder of all chunders.
Yeah.
How one woman ruined her career as an influencer overnight.
I'm so embarrassed.
You would have been a meme if we can get that.
If it had been inside a Sephora, I don't think anyone would ever work with me ever again. Like, but what happened? What happened?
I can't help you. There's something wrong with your functions as a
like,
body.
so I've been getting quite a few headaches lately. Like, I've been, and I had...
Are you pregnant?
No.
She's pregnant.
I'm absolutely...
We're having a third baby!
Absolutely not pregnant. If I was pregnant, I wouldn't have been embarrassed, because I would have just been like, I'm pregnant. I'm so sorry, I'm pregnant.
I think I would have said that anyway. I'm pregnant.
Then what happens?
Oh, Glenn, we have to get pregnant.
I'm going to have to get pregnant now, Glenn. I projectile vomited in Eldon Square and told everyone it's because I was pregnant. So I think because I'm like still 90 weeks into the 6 weeks holidays, I feel like I haven't been like good with my diet. I haven't been good with taking my supplements and stuff all the time. So I feel like I've just, I don't know, my body's been just struggling a little bit. But I'm not sure if it was the sausage roll. Like, was it the sausage roll?
Did you have the
sausage roll and sparkling water? No, I didn't have any of the fancy canapes. But I had a sausage roll and sparkling water, and I feel like that's what came straight out of us.
Well, yeah, if you just...
Like beige fizz.
Oh, don't.
Why me?
Only you.
Why did that happen to me?
Only you.
But imagine if I'd never made it outside the shop.
That would have been better content. Because somebody would have got that on. They would have been like, welcome girls, I'm having a look around. Oh.
It was like The Exorcist.
Well, at least you got out the store.
At least I got out of the store.
And it's a really good story to tell. It's a great anecdote. Well done. The crab face shooketh. She's shocked.
Like, why me?
So
and I was like, I think I need to go. I need to leave. I can't be at this party.
So did you just leave?
And no, because I had to get back on the coach. My jacket was on the coach.
Did you go to above?
Yeah, because I've really wanted my goodie bag. And I was like, is it really bad to come and get a goodie bag and go? And I was like, but I can't have just projectile vomited all over myself and not leave with a goodie bag.
With the pouring
It has
sawdust
to have been
and
worth
sand
it.
down on the vom.
As I walked past the angel of a man that was cleaning up my vomit, I did not make any eye contact or look because I was mortified. And I didn't want him to know that it was mine. Oh, God.
I can't wait for your next event so we can have some more.
I don't think I can go to any more events.
No, you have to.
I don't think I can.
Lauren took me to one once, and it's the best day of my life because I got a full-size bottle of the most expensive perfume ever. And I'm sad when that runs out.
I feel like I had a headache then.
You did? And I had hay fever.
Maybe events stresses out.
Remember, I had hay fever. My eyes were just
Yeah, your eyes were watering. Maybe
horrendous.
events and stuff stresses out a bit.
You need to go out.
But it was a long day. It was a long.
That is a long
I'd been up
day.
since 5:30. Then I'd been in the hairdressers and then gone straight through to Newcastle. So like I'd been out the house from 8.
It's still not really a reason to vomit.
Projectile vomit.
But maybe next time don't eat the sausage roll if it's going to be hot. But sausage rolls don't normally make me sick.
You know what? It's not very often I eat sausage roll. Wouldn't be my Greg's of choice.
They have to be the right temperature. Like Greg's is just mint.
I do love Greg's.
Today's episode is sponsored by Greg's. I wish.
But I don't, after I've spewed up their sausage roll, I don't think they'll really want anything to do with us.
I'll not tell them that story when we get in the room with them. Oh, God. So, that's the pit. What's your peak?
The goodie bag.
You're going to say, what did you get in there? Like, is Sephora just
also.
a stockist? So they don't do their own makeup, they just stock
They do have
everybody's.
their own brand as
or
well.
do they?
Yeah. What Sephora reminds us of is the airport.
Oh, so like duty free.
But
Really
obviously it's
bright, really clean.
Yeah. And like
Glad.
it's got so many brands that you don't always see together. Do you know what I mean? That's what it reminds us of. Like it reminds us of the airport when you get so excited to go to the airport because you're so excited to have a look around duty free. That's what it reminds us of.
Honestly, I wish I was into it. Honestly, I'm like, I aspire to be that person who's into skincare and makeup, and like I like looking nice, but I'm also just somebody tell me what to do. Like
I feel like even if someone told you what to do, you probably wouldn't do it.
probably. I try it. I still need to order, you know me. I'm showing in my hand. I don't know why.
Sorry.
That sorry, it's just
Booted you.
booted us. Me skinny thing.
Yeah, SPF.
Is that what it's called? Yes.
Yeah.
With a little bit of tinting. But I got that at the dermatologist when I got the acne off after Freddie, and then you stock it, and it's run out again.
Yeah.
So I need a new one.
Okay.
So the bag and the vom.
Yeah.
Okay, should we
That's
do
where
mine?
we'll go. Go on then.
The last few weeks, I've been leaning back in this chair, and I'm so much more comfortable. I've worked out for the first 10 weeks. I'm sat like this, like a stiff neck.
Yeah.
Hello.
When I watch
My
it
name
back,
is
I
Kayleigh.
feel like I'm like, I don't know.
No, you're like really comfortable. Like,
Yeah, but I feel like it looks bad posture wise. It's like I'm pushing my belly out and like I'm like slumped.
you just look really comfortable. So, my peak is my hair. What my hair did.
Yes, nice shiny blonde.
6 months. This has not been done for.
Yeah, mine hadn't been done for 6 months either. I've also just had my hair done. It just wasn't a pit or a peak. I have also had my hair done. The last time I had it done was the beginning of March. Is that 6 months?
Probably.
Yeah.
But I sent her 2 images, and I was like, which one was darker? One was back to like blonde. She was like, don't ever send me dark photos. I mean, I'm never going to dye your hair dark. And I'm like, no, I don't want dark. But you know when, because I'm mousy anyway, so I can get away with not dye my hair for a while.
Yeah.
She was like, no, let's do this. And it was a lovely day. I had my laptop. I was doing work while she was doing my hair for 4 hours. It was just lovely. And what was really funny was Dale was all over us. It's like, there's something about that hair. Because I don't have a middle pattern. I do. But mine's always on the side. Like, I always put it on my right-hand side. And he's like, something about that middle pattern. So he was all over us.
Really like the middle part.
Love the middle pattern. So this will be here until this does me nut in.
Because it falls in front of you.
Yeah, and then next week it'll be like tied up on my head again. So that was it. Quick one. The pit is I went to watch Freddie's football match. He was in a friendly, because the season hasn't started or something yet, so they're doing a couple of friendlies, bless them. They were against the same team, they're like team but the year older. And I'm like, well, of course they're not going to even win or score or whatever. But I got there later, and as a mum, right, I know each mum's different, but Freddie's been ill, right? So being on antibiotics, like, it's not been a good time. But Thursday, Dale was like, I'm going to take him because he's been at school a few days, he's picked up. As a mum, would you have told the coach that he hadn't been very well and he was on antibiotics?
Was he still on antibiotics?
He was on them till Saturday.
I don't know, because is it relevant?
Yeah, because
Was
he
he
couldn't
still
breathe.
Poorly?
Like, he was still coughing.
Oh, well, yeah,
And he was
probably.
like, normally he's the workhorse. He just runs all over. Not very skillful, but he will run around like a lunatic. So that would have been the first thing. As a mum, I would have been like, Greg, Fred's not been well this week. FYI. So I got there, and not everyone, Dale, the coach, and this random man was just shouting, Fred, track back. Fred, get wider. Freddie, come on. I was like, is there any other child in this team? Why are we all shouting at my child?
Yeah.
And everyone was just, the other mums were laughing. And then Freddie was just like, because there was too many people shouting at him to do something. And Dale kept shouting, get wide, get wide. And I could see on his face, he didn't have a clue what get wide meant. And I went, Dale, does he even know what that means? Like, I got like protective bear mode. I was like, does he know what it means? He was like, what do you mean? I was like, because if you said that to me, I'd jump out in a star position and run about the pitch wide, like legs spread. So where do you want him to go? Be more specific, or make sure he knows this terminology, because clearly he doesn't. And then this bloke kept shouting. I was like, yeah, is your son playing? He was like, yeah. I was like, well, shout at him. And he went, oh, I'm the new assistant coach. And I was like, oh, well, lovely.
Let you off then.
Still shout at other kids. And then everyone was just like, I don't know, it was a bit comical kind of thing, because I'm like, oh, man. And I went, do you know he's been on antibiotics this week? And they were like, oh, that would make sense why he's not running about as much. I was like, yeah. And then as soon as I said that, Greg was like, I'm going to take him off. Doesn't look very well. And I was like, if you take him off, you've ruined my night. Because it was a friendly, and the 3 subs got told, and because of Fred and the way his brain processes, he's very matter of fact. So somebody says something to him, he won't forget that.
Yeah.
So for the second half, it said all 3 subs are going to come on for 15 minutes on the second half, and the proper team will like filter around. So Fred, he's on for 15 minutes, like he's excited. I was like, oh, you're going to ruin our night here if you take him off.
Yeah.
And Dale was like, it doesn't look very well though, Kayleigh. And I was like, I know that, but he thinks he's on. Anyway, Greg took him off. Hysteria. He sat on the floor next to Greg. And he's lovely. He's so good with them.
Yeah.
And he was like, mate, you're not very well. Your dad didn't tell us. He was like, I can see you're not like, you're not feeling it. And anyway, it was I'm not playing again. It was all this stuff. And Greg was going, because Greg and Dale are friends. He's like, Dale, you're going to have to tell him, like subs happen and you move stuff about. And he's like, nah.
Yeah, but I think at that age, that must be hard for them to understand, mustn't it? It's just like, oh, I'm getting taken off, but I wanted to play.
And I've just come
like,
on.
how do you make them, like, accepting of that at such a young age? Because I can imagine, like, well, obviously York's is only 3, but I can imagine if he was doing that, I think he'd have, like, a full-on screaming breakdown.
Yeah. So we got home and he was still really upset. And he was like, I don't want to talk. And I said, right, you have some time in your bedroom. We're going to put her around. When you're ready to talk, we're here. Like, and Dale was getting embarrassed about how he was acting. And I was like, Dale, this is the first time he's ever done this. Like, as in, been off, been on, da-da-da.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a core moment for him. You've got to make sure to build him up, not pull him down, and explain why. So I was like, you go in your bedroom and calm down. Anyway, about 15 minutes later, I'm like, Bath Diva, putting her to bed, and I heard, I'm ready to talk, in this like really posh voice. And I was like, right, 2 minutes, I'm ready now. I was like, Jesus. So we went in, we sat on the floor, and he was just like, it really upset us that I wasn't very good. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, because I let me team down. And I was like, you didn't. You're not well. Like, and we were explaining, Dale was like, I'm going to get you a private coach, son, because I know, like, you proper love it. And he says, like, you shouldn't be saying you don't want to play it again, because you do want to play it again. We just got to get you more skillful, let you know the rules a bit more. And yeah, it was a lovely end of the night, but it was like, these 3 men are going to get slapped off me in a second.
Yeah.
But when he was like, oh, I'm the new assistant coach, I was like, oh, okay, but stop it. Anyway, that was...
Can't wait for Oaks to start football.
Oh, honestly, I was like,
And
I
for
don't
me to
think
be
this
at
is
the
for me.
side.
Didn't think it was going to be for me.
I'm going to get one of those hammock chairs.
Oh, I take my
that
chair.
you fold out, do you?
Yeah.
I'm going to get a hammock. Can't wait.
Well, in the interval, what's the thing called?
At half time.
Thank you. So...
you can tell she does musical theatre.
The after show party. So in the, what's it called?
Half time.
Thank you. I was like clapping and everybody else was stood there. I was like, do we not clap? And they were like, no. I was like, oh, how, where? And then me and Eva were stood. I said, should we be the cheerleaders? And she was like, yeah. So we were like doing some dances.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that's going to be my involvement here.
A cheerleader.
Or somehow fighting with our coaches. Stop shouting at my child.
Try and get all the other mums involved to be cheerleaders.
I will try. I will try my best.
I'd love to see it.
We had a reel last week, because we were talking about hobbies, weren't we? On Mama Social, and it was the different types of mums at football. And I had embodied every single one of them. The chatty one, the gossip, because the other coach had left. And I was like, hey, where's he gone? One of the mums knew all the cracks. So I was like, and then the aggressive. Yeah, so...
Is this a school team or not a school team?
No, just like a Saturday team. Thursday team.
Okay.
But I'm like, Dale, I think you should make your own team.
Be a coach. I always say that to Glenn.
Because his dad was. His dad was their team coach forever. And he's like, when will I have the time?
Yeah, I don't think Dale should do that. No.
He might tip him over the edge.
But I don't think Glenn should either, to be honest.
So yeah.
I'm sick of him in football anyway.
Oh yeah.
Ow.
Just whacking our arms off stuff.
Is it time to pick up my cards?
Before we do our cards, I got a message the other day.
Come on then.
On Instagram saying, just to let you know, ... And you know when you can only see that when you pick up your phone, and I'm like, oh, what have I said?
I know. What's
What have I
it
done?
going to say? Lauren is shouty and aggressive.
I've just returned from Mallorca, and there was a group of girls round the pool talking about Mama Social Co and loving the podcast. I mean, they were from South Shields, I think, but just shows how bloody well you've done.
Oh.
Isn't that lovely?
I was at soft play on Saturday, and someone came over to us and said, are you off Mama Social podcast? I went, oh, yeah, I am. She went, oh, I listen to it. I love it. She went, oh, I bet you get this all the time. I went, actually, I don't. very, very rare.
Lauren used to think I would make it up when people said it to me.
I know. I'd be like, nobody says this to me, actually.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she was lovely.
And I said, did you go over and say, because I knew the girl, it's Dale's sister's friend.
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen her in years. But she was like, oh, I went straight over. Said, that's my best friend's sister-in-law.
I thought she was going to say, that's my best friend.
Probably. But yeah, I just thought it was really nice
How lovely.
that they sat around the pool chatting about us.
I hope they were saying nice things.
I know. I think I'd like to hear more of those things. Where's the weirdest place you've spoke about the podcast or you've heard somebody else talk about what we're doing? So, Lauren, do you know the email?
Podcast at mamasocialco.com.
There she is.
There you go. Yeah, you can email us now, guys. So any stories, any questions, dilemmas, anything at all can all go to the email.
Yes, please. So, topic of the week is
Parenting guilt. Mom guilt.
Mam Guilt.
Dad guilt's a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Dale gets dad guilt, but not for the same reason that I get Mam Guilt. I was going to say I get dad guilt.
So why do you feel guilty? What makes you feel guilty? And what makes Dale feel guilty?
So for me, you know how I love journaling?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always kept a journal, and I love writing. It's hilarious because I'm dyslexic, so no fricker else can read it because it doesn't make sense. But to me, it's like just a really lovely outlet to get rid of my thoughts. Rage on the page, I like to call it.
Okay.
So if I'm going to kill Dale, I'll go to the book.
Write it down.
Get angry.
It's like a burn book.
Yeah. I'm always like, don't look in there. That's not for your eyes. So for me, I get specific parent guilt, mam guilt, because of too much knowledge. So I wrote something the other day.
What?
So I feel like there's too much noise about how we should parent, or research out there about shouting or losing your temper or hitting them. Obviously, nobody should hit the children, but like all the things, how we were parented sort of thing, is now not the correct way to do it, or the scientific way to make emotionally balanced, healthy adults.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still human and I have my own faults. So when I have, like 3-4 weeks ago when I shared that I actually wasn't good, I was thinking about cutting it out because I was so embarrassed about that moment when I put poor Fred on the step in wellies and told him to go and find a new mam. But I thought it was important to share that because we all have our moments and our flaws.
Yeah, of course.
So I then go, oh my God, how much of an issue am I making? How much am I not destroying, but chipping away at the essence of me kids by being faulted myself? Do you get what I mean? Or am I just waffling?
I think I get what you mean.
Like I know too much, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to do this.
I feel like everyone knows everything, but also knows nothing.
No, that's what.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
in 10 years' time, the research is going to be different, and
we'll
100%. We've stuffed them up anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what I get the guilt over. Like, I don't want him.
Like, just, are you doing things right?
Am I doing it right enough for him and her to be good members of society? And I am, but then I'll have a blast, or I'll have a parent fail, and I'm like, oh my God, how much therapy is Fred going to have to go through to get rid of the welly situation?
Well, you might end up in a therapy session over that one. But I think like, do you know what? Like, we are human, and there is days and times when our patience is tested and we run out of patience. And I can't tell you the amount of, like, when Ovi was born and like getting Oaks to go to nursery and stuff, when like he just went through this phase of like not wanting to get dressed and everything. I think did I ever send you the video of him in the car where he was screaming? Like he was just screaming at the top of his lungs in the car, in his nappy. He was still in nappies then. Was he? Yeah, because I potty trained him just after Ovi was born, didn't I?
Did all that the wrong way
Like,
around.
I know. He was in the car in a nappy, absolutely furious that he was in the car naked, but he wouldn't get ready in the house. And
So what was the alternative?
I'd completely lost my temper. Like, and he was screaming and shouting at me, and I ended up just screaming. Like, it just erupted out of us. Like, but you know, like, things just boil and build up, and we've all got a limit, and we hit it sometimes. Like, and I just think that's fine, as long as it's not happening numerous times a day and every day. And I think as long as you're like accountable after, and like I apologise to Oaks.
I think that's the difference with our generation.
For shouting at him. Like, if I ever shout at him or like raise my voice or anything, I'll say, look, Oaks, I'm really sorry that I shouted at you, but Mammy was running out of patience. I really needed to be out of the house at a certain time, and you weren't getting ready. But whatever. Like, I think it's important to apologise to them. I don't think that we should be like, well, we're adults, we're right. Like,
I think that's the change in behaviour.
100%. Because I feel like years ago, it was just like,
you're a child.
I'm big, you're small, you listen to me.
What's that? Children should be seen and not heard. Like, that's not a thing. No.
Should I tell you when I feel guilty?
Yes, please.
If Oaks ever tells us to get off my phone. I know.
That cuts deep.
Especially
when it's your job.
I know. Because sometimes I do feel like sometimes I do need to be on my phone. And I'll be, like the other day, I needed to edit a reel. And like, it takes us 5 minutes, right? But it is 5 minutes where I need to sit and stare at my phone and concentrate. And I need to get it done, and I need to get it sent over. And I know that I shouldn't be doing it because I'm with my children. But it doesn't take as long, and I need to do it. And while I'm doing it, I can feel myself getting like chewed. And then if Oaks like starts... sometimes he'll try and like hit my phone out my hand, and I'm like, stop it. Like, I need to get this done.
And you
then
get snappy because you're like, just give us a minute and I'll be done. Like,
and I
you're
get
prolonging this.
But then if he's ever like, will you Mommy, put your phone down? And I'm like, oh my God, I really need to put my phone down. Which, to be fair, it doesn't actually happen often. He told us to put my phone down this morning. So I was really trying to watch an episode of Vanderpump Rules. While everyone was having breakfast. I'm just at a really good point of Vanderpump Rules where I thought, right, everyone's having breakfast, everyone's really chilled, I can just put my phone down here and no one will know that I'm watching it. He knew. He told us to put it away.
I think kids are so smart.
Oh God, yeah.
And they see through everything. And that for me is my guilt. Like, are we doing enough for them?
Yeah.
Are we making them emotionally stable? Are we going to mess them up? It's always that, are we?
Yeah.
But
I think that's, we're always going to have that, and it's never going to go away. And I just feel like the important thing is not to let it consume you and to actually like sit and feel really guilty. Or if you are sitting and feeling really, really guilty, then I think maybe you need to change a few things or else you'll drive yourself insane.
It's knowing what's rational and what's irrational, isn't it? Because like, I get not guilt about work, but there's a few times that my mum, big Tina, will say stuff like, oh, like I'll be picking Eva up at 5:30 because that's what time it closes. But if I can pick her up early, I pick her up early. But if I've got a deadline or if I've finished in a call or whatever, like, I'll be ringing her on the way back. And sometimes I think, well, what's the point? I'll stop ringing her at this time, because she'll just go, what, you've just picked her up now? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, it's bloody 5:30, Kayleigh. She's been there since 8.
I'm not being funny, but you pay for that day.
I know.
You pay for that day. So even if I was sat at home in my pyjamas, I'd be leaving her there till 5:30.
So then I'm like, well, I tell you what, if it's upsetting you so much, you pick her up at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, you go and
You
get
have
her.
her for the few hours, like what my ma used to do for us. Like, or you're not going to do that, so shut your pie hole and stop making us feel like crap.
Isn't it weird
Ma'am,
that we feel...
I'm not editing this out. This is coming to you hot. Leave me alone.
Like, isn't it weird the difference in probably the majority of men and women and work and feeling guilty for going to work? Because obviously today I'm here doing this and my mum's having to have both of the boys because Oaks hasn't started nursery yet. And Glenn's on day shift, and then tomorrow he's on day shift, and I've got a training thing at work, so I'm having to go and drop them off at Glenn's mum's. And then I'm like, oh my God, like 2 days in a row, and I was at work yesterday, 3 days in a row where I'm not spending the whole day with them. But obviously Glenn goes day shift, night shift, we'll go to football, and is absolutely fine with it. Like, that's just fine. He won't be sitting and thinking, oh God, like, should I be working 2 days in a row?
You know what I want to do?
What?
I'm going to ring Dale.
Oh God, not these phone calls again.
I'm going to ask him.
What?
About what he gets parent guilt for.
What makes you feel guilty?
Hiya, you all right?
Yeah, you.
On the podcast, is that all right?
Yeah.
So,
Nervous laugh.
quick question. So the topic this week is parent guilt. And obviously me and Lauren's talking about our experience of that. As a dad, do you get parent guilt? And if so, what is it?
It's all over the sister. I don't.
Did we?
I don't.
Was I drunk yesterday?
Or regret or nothing really. Like, you can you? Because it's, I don't know.
It's 'cause he's not asked.
I don't really know. No, that's my answer.
Do you never feel guilty when you go to work all the time?
No.
So why do we?
Because it's got to be done. I'm providing for the kids, you know. So you can't get regret. Otherwise, it's sort of counterproductive. Obviously, you work hard and go to work to make money to do nice things with the kids. So to me, I don't get regret at all.
That's
I'm sure other
nice to
men might,
know.
but I don't.
I remember this conversation now. We were drunk at Sheepfolds when we were talking about this. No, but you were saying, like, you're working this hard to provide a different life in later.
For kids. So that's why I don't hold any regret at all, because I'm doing it for them.
But you know...
So what about so you know how you work like Monday to Friday?
Yeah.
And then you're working so hard to do fun things with your kids, but then on the Saturday you go and play cricket all day. Does that never make you feel guilty? Sorry.
We haven't even mentioned cricket. She's holding it.
I don't mean that in a thingy way, but I mean...
I can look after myself as well.
Expand
I
that.
can't imagine... Like, you know, if we worked Monday to Friday, 9 till 5, then I can't imagine being like, oh, but then I'm going to go out the house on a Saturday as well and be out the house most of the day and not feeling like, oh, I shouldn't.
But I think for me and Dale, I don't know if we talked about this the other week, but I've definitely wrote it down somewhere. Me and Dale are only this good now because we have gone, well, what are your needs and what do you need to do for your own mental health?
Yeah.
Like, so if Dale goes to cricket on a Saturday, which thank goodness he's finished that now, but like I would be like,
Football this weekend, no.
oh, he's at football this weekend now.
Oh, no.
Not bad. But like for me, I would go, right, well, I'm going for a walk in the morning and I'm going to have, or go to the spa or go and do my couple of things, because then that fills my tank up to be a better mum and wife. And I know he's the same, because we
Yeah.
just get massive burnout and we're not very good, are we, when we're not doing our own
I
things?
don't think anyone is.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for the dads.
Thank you for the phone call.
Thanks.
Right, go on then.
Goodbye.
See you in a bit.
Right, okay, so
that was nice of Mr. Laverick. So I do believe it's completely different for a more... I think men don't. No. Let's start all these words again.
no, but I do think that. I think that men just don't carry that kind of guilt that we do, because, like I said, like I'm working 3 days in a row now, and they're not even full days. Do you know what I mean? Like I was in the house at... Well, actually, I was in the house at like 3 o'clock yesterday, but Glenn had them at a play area, so I didn't see them until they got in. But today, I'll be going to pick them up at like 1, 2 o'clock, and I've got the rest of the day with them. And then tomorrow, I'll have like a bit of the morning with them. But even then, I'm like, ooh.
I
Do
don't
you know what I
get
mean?
that. I do get what you mean. I don't get that. That's not my guilt. I thoroughly enjoy.
But then I don't
dropping
know
them off
why
at
that's
school
my
and
guilt, because what
nursery.
if I did have a normal job? Which obviously I do have a normal job, but like my normal job is quite flexible. Like I work from home sometimes. I can get me work done on a night when they're in bed. I go into the clinic on days when Glenn's off. Like, but if I still worked at JD and worked...
You probably then
Five.
wouldn't have the guilt though.
Yeah, because I have to. Like, because
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
your
it,
life.
and that's... Yeah.
So I'd like to hear anybody else's parent guilt.
I feel like everyone's mam guilt will be like
The same.
kind of the same.
They're not eating enough. That's one of me things with Fred.
Are they eating right? Because I honestly, at the minute, I feel like I need a re-wean Oaks. So I feel like at the minute, obviously, Ovi's weaning, but I'm quite a pouch mom.
Pouch mom.
Pouch mom. I am going to try and get out of that soon. I think when Oaks goes to nursery, I can spend some time in the kitchen, maybe like making some food when I've got a bit more time. And I need to try and get Oaks eating better, because at the minute when I'm asking him what he wants for food and stuff, he's just like cheese, which is literally me as a child.
Yeah.
Cheese. All he wants is cheese. So I'm like, okay, I will give you a little bit of cheese and a ham sandwich and this, and he'll eat the chunk of cheese.
It's often Dale's mum will say like, we've got to get him eating better. And I'm like, he's literally Dale as a child.
Yeah.
So you tell me what you did with Dale.
Just
and I will do
exactly,
the
well-
same, because you can't do anything. Like, Eva will eat. She's not a massive meat fan. She just doesn't like the texture, but vegetables, fruit, smashes everything in. So I made a stir fry, chicken stir fry last night. She had all the noodles and the veg, and Fred had noodles and chicken. But I have to stand and pick out everything. I was buzzing that some of the broccoli had like not melted, but bits of it was on his chicken and he wasn't looking. And I was like, he's actually had broccoli in his digestive system.
Oaks actually likes broccoli.
But
it's
Eva
hit and
picks it up
miss
and just
whether he
smashes it in. It's I get so much joy watching her eat.
I love watching kids eat.
But Fred, I'm
Like when they eat, like when they're eating a good meal, I love it.
This bloke came over at the pub the other day because Eva was just sat smashing in a whole, like the kid size of spaghetti bolognese would feed me.
Yeah.
And she was just like smashing it in. Absolutely smash. And he came over and he was like, that's amazing to see.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know.
Like a kid actually eating.
Why Fred's like chips and chicken goujons. It's like homemade chicken.
Yeah.
Breaded. It's not frozen. So you feel less guilt. But I'm like, his diet is beige. I've just started giving him like the gummies, multivitamin gummies, just to try and get something else in him, which he's thoroughly enjoying.
Yeah, I give them the Oaks as well.
He didn't like them because of the texture, and he saw that both kids are not really into sweets. All of a sudden, he's like, I like this now. And I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Here he goes on the Haribo train.
Why do we feel so much better if, like, so if I give Oaks fish fingers and chips out of the freezer, right? That's not a bad meal, is it?
Well, it would be better if you did them yourself.
But why?
Because it's less preservatives in them. But it's not a bad meal. But the way to make it better is to cut the chips yourself. Put them in the air fryer. Fish, egg whites.
Who's got time for that?
Breaded.
And who's got time to bread a bit of fish?
People do. And they're the people that I go, I wish I was you.
But you know what? Like, if you were to, I don't know, if you were to do bird's eye fish fingers,
Stunning.
McCain chips, okay,
White bread and Lurpak.
then people would be like, oh, freezer food.
Uh-huh.
But if you were to cut that potato yourself and make the chips and bread a bit of fish, it's the same meal,
just with less crap.
but that would be amazing.
Well, it'd be better.
Don't get it. Don't get it.
Yeah,
I've
but
always got fish fingers in.
oh, everyone's always
I
got
love fish fingers.
Just a cheeky
Fish
little
finger
Sunday night
sandwich
fish finger sandwich.
Is one of my favourite meals. It's one of the only things that Glen ever cooks is fish finger sandwich.
The amount of messages about the tuna, by the way.
What
Jail's tuna brine. Brine. He was showing all the lads at the pub the other day. He's like, what's this? And this bloke went, I know it's exactly what you've done there. And
I'm
like,
just sat here
what?
starting to get Mam Guilt about fish fingers.
No.
Okay.
Fish, like, I feed my children fish fingers.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, to make that better, it is homemade fish and chips. But who cares?
So am I going fishing?
Good on the fishmongers.
No. So what if you bought some breaded fish from a fish counter?
Probably is better.
Is that better than a fish finger?
Probably.
But why?
Because it was probably made and breaded that day. It's the preservatives in the frozen stuff. Don't get me like
right, okay.
I feed like we eat freezer food, but freezer food, anything that's got preservatives in to keep the shelf life longer, isn't you know it's not going to be as good as doing it yourself.
Okay.
But it's the time that it takes to do it yourself. Like, I've got the air fryer homemade chips down to a T now.
Have you?
So I haven't bought freezer chips in weeks because I just get 2 potatoes.
You'll have to tell us how you do them.
Olive oil,
Because I always
salt,
seem to like burn everything a bit and they just go dry, and
you need to
I don't think I'm very good at the air fryer.
Turn it down and turn the time down. Shaky, shaky, shaky midway through. Delightful.
Okay.
And it's cheap as chips.
Cheap as chips.
But overall, we need to be kinder to ourselves.
I agree.
Because no matter what we do, somebody will always have an opinion about the way you parent.
Yeah,
good or bad, indifferent or different.
Yeah, someone will always have something.
And as long as you're doing it with like the expectation to be a good parent, I think that's follow your gut. Mums always know the right way to do something if you're a good parent. So, I think if anybody would like to share their parent guilt, I think that would be a nice way.
But there's so many things that we always feel guilty for. If they ever have an accident, we feel guilty. Like,
Naps.
obviously I felt so guilty about the drawers.
Mm-hmm.
He fell down the stairs absolutely ages ago. I think I've mentioned that on a podcast when it happened. And you just think about those things all the time and think like, that shouldn't have happened. What if I should have done this? I should have done that.
The shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda means I'm out of time.
What a song. Right. Do you want to do our next part?
Yes, we have a message.
Share your shit. Share your shit.
Hi, hope you are doing well. I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I feel really guilty. I hate letting my girls see their grandparents, my parents, not my partners, because both of my parents have always body shamed me and I worry for my girls. They both eat healthy and have a good relationship with sugar, snacks, etc. But my parents have already pulled me up on too many carbs for my girls. I haven't changed their diet, but we haven't been over in a few months. The girls are asking to go over and I really don't want to, but I feel so guilty for this. I'm at a loss.
Do not feel guilty. You need to protect your children and yourself from bullying, really. Why are we talking about carbs in children?
Carbs? Like, that's so toxic. Like, I'd get it.
It's toxic parenting.
I'd get it if they were like, oh, they're having far too much sugar. If they've just inhaled a bar of chocolate, an ice cream, something else. I would get that, but too many carbs. Oh my God, don't give your kids energy. God forbid. Like, no.
Nah.
The carbs things are no.
I think her going to see them is a no.
But as well, I do think, like, I think obviously the older generation, I feel like you get to an age where you're just very set in your ways. You're very stuck in those ways and you can't see anything else. So I feel like no matter how much you would pull them up or to tell them to stop doing it, they probably never will.
So then you need to protect your time and space. So what I would do was never go into an environment where they're in control of the space.
Yeah.
So I would be like, let's meet at a play cafe.
Yeah.
So they've got less opportunity to have them conversations. Let's go on a day trip. So there's lots of stuff happening instead of sitting down in a house with a cuppa.
Where the kids are just going to want a snack.
And having a narration about my children.
Yeah.
Because clearly it sounds like that she's had a very dysfunctional relationship with food from them as a child for body shaming. No. Like, it's no. We're not having that. Not having it. Stay away.
Yeah.
Or control the environment.
I agree with the control the environment thing. Like, maybe don't go to their house. Maybe maybe don't even invite them to yours. But yeah.
Because I imagine they'll be looking in your cupboard. Oh, a cracker. A crisp.
Meet them at McDonald's. Just to piss them off.
An Italian with a garlic bread, some pasta.
It's
and
weird
chips.
because obviously my mum is what I would like to describe as an almond mum.
Yes,
She
heard this term.
Yes,
I've never heard it anywhere else, but
in the past, like, she's always been like very, very bothered about what she's eating, how she looks. Like, obviously, when we were younger, there was a lot of like diet culture. My mum would be on every diet going, but when Oaks is at hers, I will go home now, right? Well, to my mum's to pick up the kids, and I'll say, right, what's he ate? He'll have ate all kinds of shit, and I'm like, oh, glad he had a good meal. Yeah, but he asks for something and she just gives him it, and like Smarties, crisps, cereal, something else. Where I find that quite like, I can't believe that my mum lets him do that when she's so proper with her food.
we popped over my mum and dad's on Saturday morning, and 9 o'clock in the morning, Eva walked in, just went up to the freezer and opened the freezer door. I went, what are you doing? She went, ice cream, and looks really cute. I was like, absolutely not.
I had a little argument with her. I think it was yesterday morning.
Came back from the toilet, and here she sat with an ice cream, looking at us like, and I was like, Mum? She was like, well, Saturday.
I think I had an argument with Oaks, I think it was yesterday morning, because he wanted an ice cream for his breakfast, and he kept going over to the freezer and opening it and trying to get an ice cream out, and I was like, you cannot eat an ice cream for your breakfast. You need to have a proper breakfast, and you can have an ice cream later on. Like, and he was in a right huff about it.
Lunatics.
Then it makes us think, maybe I just need to stop buying nice things in the house, and then if they're not there, he won't want them.
Probably. So I hope that's helped. I would be keeping well away. But it's hard, isn't it, when it's your parents, because you love them, but you've got to protect your children.
Yeah,
100%.
I think if anyone's talking to little girls about eating too many carbs, they need to F off.
Slap.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's just, no.
Next part.
Fact of the week.
So my fact of the week, around 90% of mothers report feeling judged for their parenting decision. That's so high. Which often
That
leads
is high, isn't
to
it?
feeling guilt. This guilt frequently stems from unrealistic expectations, social pressures, and the struggles to balance family and career responsibility. I think that's a big one, like the expectations of like having to be a working woman and also be the best conscious parenting expert that cooks fresh every night. That there was a point over summer I hadn't done the big shop in weeks and weeks and weeks, and we lived on takeaways.
I haven't done a big shop. Honestly, I can't remember the last time. I haven't cleaned the house. Still haven't cleaned the house. I haven't cleaned a bathroom for 7 weeks now.
Oh, God.
Like, the like I said, the bath's had a rinse.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, like, my house is still an absolute sty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's awful. I can't wait to get stuck into it at the end of this week.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't do everything. And also, like, who's judging us? Like, who? Like, who is judging? Like, why are people judging? And, like, why do we judge? Like, just why?
I think as well, people think they're being judged more than they actually are. Because everybody's ego is so inflated that they think that somebody's thinking about them when really they've got their own stuff to worry about and to think about.
Yeah, really, they just probably don't care at all.
No, so we're wanting to not keep up with the Joneses, but like it's having that unrealistic expectations and having it managed, right? Well, I ain't going to get in tonight till 6 o'clock, so nobody's really going to have a homemade Sunday roast, even though it's Monday, or whatever. We're probably going to be having a picnic or a takeaway.
Yeah.
Or fish fingers and chips.
Lovely.
But then in my head I'll go, I'll make the chips, so it's less guilt. Just little small changes.
I can't imagine ever feeling guilty about frozen chips, mind.
Good.
I don't think that would set my guilt off.
Good. I'm glad for you. But I think it's because Freddie only eats chips.
Yeah.
And pasta. Bear.
I lived on pasta
noodles.
and cheese for 25 years.
And Dale says he did.
Yeah.
He only ate broccoli last year for the first time. 35-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
I don't know why I get told about he needs to eat better. It's just the difference in parenting, isn't it? So, I think that's it.
I think we have
chatted about that enough.
Chatty.
If you
would
like to leave us a review.
Yeah. Someone actually messaged me yesterday and said, I want to leave a review. How do I do it? And I was like,
I don't know.
I don't actually know.
You can leave reviews on Apple.
On Apple. Is it so? Can you only leave an actual written review on Apple Podcasts, but you can leave a rating on Spotify?
Rating on Spotify.
So if you can,
or go onto YouTube and comment on there.
Yeah.
Send us it. Or share it.
Yeah. But yeah, things like that just help us out a little bit. So comment, like, share, subscribe, review, all of that.
And I'm going to go because I am going to pee my pants.
Okay, go.
Peace out, everyone.
Will you pass me a biscuit before you go to the toilet?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. This episode of Mama Social, the podcast, was filmed and produced by Flamingo Heights Podcast Studio.
Lauren, I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
I don't like
Why
you
say Lauren? Just say see you soon.
Steve.
Because we're talking to our listeners.
Ah.
See you soon.